Perfect.
How is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beared Down Uncut, the show where we talk everything Bears every day of the week. Today, we are back with more NFL draft content. I will be breaking down in episode number 183 of Uncut the top 3 wide receiver prospects for the Bears in the 2022 NFL draft. The draft is just over 24 hours away. The Bears won't pick, or at least hopefully, barring a trade up, will not pick until Friday. Yet the assumption is Chicago is going to be drafting a wide receiver with one of their second round picks. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys my top 3 realistic prospects for Chicago. Before we get into it, though, I would like to say you guys have been killing it, absolutely murdering it with the support recently. So please keep it up. Do me a favor if you haven't already. Drop a like, comment, subscribe wherever you may be listening, whether that be YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. We're bringing you guys the most comprehensive Bears draft coverage all the way up until the end of the weekend when the draft ends, as well as consistent, comprehensive coverage throughout the entirety of the 2022 Bears season. I am your host, Chris Maltby. Feels good to be back. Was supposed to record this video with my good co-host, Parth. He unfortunately passed to watch the White Sox end what I believe is a 8-game losing streak. So kudos to the White Sox for hopefully getting the mojo back their way. Should be interesting to see how this Bulls season ends. It's win or go home tonight. No Alex Caruso, no Zach LaVine. So it seems like the Bears are at the forefront of Chicago sports news right now with not too much good happening anywhere else. But the Bears have a lot to look forward to this weekend. The NFL draft coming up. They've got some needs at wide receiver. They've got some needs at cornerback and safety. They've got some prevalent needs at the offensive line. So there are a lot of which ways the Bears can go. Yet the assumption is that with one of their second round picks, they're going to be drafting a wide receiver. So let's hop right into this analysis. I've got 3 names to give you guys. Might be another short video once again. I apologize, but hopefully easier for you guys to all consume. It feels weird doing these alone, especially 2 days in a row. But let's hop right into it. My number 1 most realistic prospect for who the Bears end up with if they go with a wide receiver is Christian Watson out of North Dakota State. He comes in at 6'4", 208 pounds. NFL Next Gen Stats gave him a prospect grade of 6.27, meaning he will be an average starter in the league. Now, this prospect grade takes into account not only their combine results, but as well as what they were able to produce in college. And Watson had quite the great combine, a 4.36 40-yard dash coupled with a 38.5-inch vertical jump. He is someone who was only on the FCS level with North Dakota State, yet he has intriguing measurables and is someone who I believe can come in and be an X wide receiver, that split end wide receiver that Chicago is looking for. His father played safety in the National Football League, and he has a really good blend of size, speed, and length. He's someone who is good all across the field if you put him in short, intermediate, or deep routes. He plays fast immediately off the snap, has the speed to beat you deep, has a great catch radius, smooth route running all across the field, and he's able to maintain his acceleration as well as find some effective separation on the outside. So he is someone who a lot of people think can be a boom or bust wide receiver, being that he's coming out of the FCS, played a little bit weaker of opponents, but I do think he has a great combination of size and speed overall. He is someone who the Bears have met with numerous times, both at the Senior Bowl as well as in combine meetings, as well as after the combine. So a lot of reported interest between the Bears and Christian Watson. I think he makes sense for the prototypical wide receiver they're looking to fill after Allen Robinson left for Los Angeles. So they ideally, I think, would look for someone who can be that X receiver, who can fit in where Robinson fell out. The Bears need to bring in someone that can help Justin Fields. I think Watson can do exactly that. Let's move on to my next prospect. Second of 3, that is. We're going to move over to the national champions, the reigning national champions, Georgia Bulldogs, here with George Pickens, 6'3", 195 pounds, another average starter prospect grade from the NFL Next Gen Stats. 6.23 will eventually be an average starter, a little bit higher of a grade overall on Next Gen Stats than Watson received. A 4.47 40-yard dash, 33-inch vertical jump. Pickens is someone who absolutely pops off the tape. A lot of people are indifferent about him because obviously of his injury concern. He battled back onto the field to play late in the 2021 season after tearing his ACL. But I think Pickens has incredible burst off the line of scrimmage. He is great at stopping and turning immediately on short routes in the middle of the field. He's someone who is reliable all throughout the field overall, and I think he plays with an appetite for the end zone overall. Pickens is someone who is a red zone threat all in all. I think he has great sudden hands. And for someone who's only 6'3", I think he has great vertical jump ability and an elite catch radius. That's what stands out to me most about Pickens is he is someone who you can put outside. He is someone you can put inside as well. He is going to go up, make the big plays, make the catches, and he has the speed to do that. I completely understand the weaknesses that he does have coming in off of an injury concern, and his effectiveness can be diminished a little bit at the line of scrimmage when opposing teams are playing press coverage. However, I do believe that Pickens is someone who could come into Chicago once again, could fill that role on the outside that Allen Robinson has left vacated. And I believe Pickens is someone who could also be available at pick 48 if Chicago wanted to go with an offensive lineman earlier at 39. So if it was going to be Watson, I'd feel more comfortable if Chicago went with him with the 39th overall pick. However, Pickens and my next wide receiver prospect, I think, will be around for that second of two second-round picks that Chicago possesses. So George Pickens, another great option there out of Georgia. I'm not too concerned about his injury history personally myself. Third and finally, we are going to go with a receiver. And maybe I'm a little bit biased from my high school, from my hometown, yet he is still someone who absolutely pops off the tape. Alec Pierce out of Cincinnati. He is someone who had one of the best combines out of any wide receiver in this upcoming draft class. He comes in at 6'3", 211 pounds. A receiver from Glen Ellen, Illinois, once again, my hometown. Had a 4.41 40-yard dash, had the best vertical jump in the entire draft class with 40.5 inches. Look, I don't even need to look at notes to talk about Pierce. He is a dominant athlete. He is an animal. He is going to excel wherever he goes in the NFL. The Bears today, when you're seeing this video on Wednesday, I believe the 27th, had a top 30 meeting with him. I don't think he's going to go that high. However, to be able to meet with him, I think that's the protocol that the Bears had to request. So the Bears and the Bengals met with Pierce today. He is a stud of an athlete. I think he has the best catch radius out of this entire class. He has incredible jumping ability, not only played football, but was also a stud volleyball player, and I believe ran track in high school. Has that great jumping ability to be able to go up and snare balls. He has sneaky speed on the outside, in my opinion. Also, overall, great strength. Is reliable across the field. He can create late separation down the field, as I mentioned, with that sneaky speed that he does have. And his catch radius is something that is just off the charts. He's able to stretch. He's able to elongate, expand his catch radius. Anywhere you put the ball on him, he's going to go up and make a valiant effort to try and bring it down. He also is great with run blocking on the outside in terms of how these wide receivers go. And he is a mismatch in the red zone. Alec Pierce, someone who's mocked between the second and third round. A lot of these guys, including Watson and Pickens as well, are people that probably could go a little bit higher, probably could go a little bit lower. However, I do believe that, especially after seeing reports from Pro Football Network yesterday, that the Bears are showing a lot of interest in Pierce, that he is someone that could fall in their hands either at 39 or at 48 as well. Waiting until 71 perhaps could pay off, but there are a lot of other teams interested in Pierce's services, as well as a lot of other wide receivers on the board. So ideally, you'd take one of these three guys in that second round. Let me know down in the comments wherever you are listening who you want the Bears to draft if they go with a wide receiver in the 2022 NFL draft. And thank you so much for tuning in to episode number 183 of Uncut. If you haven't already, do me a favor, drop a like, subscribe, follow wherever you may be listening. We're bringing you guys the best Bears draft coverage all the way through the weekend, as well as the most comprehensive Bears coverage on the web throughout the entire training camp process as well as the regular season. So you definitely want to come back because we're going to try to be posting content each and every day. If you would like more content from us outside of the podcast, you can head to our website. The link is down in the description, beardown.com. We're posting columns, articles, and blogs to get you guys ready for the 2022 draft and beyond. If you would like to find the podcast on social media, you can find it on Instagram and Twitter. It's a great way to interact with us, see what we have going on outside of the pod with our personal lives, as well as our other coverage with the Bears. At Beared Down on Instagram and Twitter. Once again, we also like to put some sneak peeks of some guests we're going to have on the show on our social media before the podcasts themselves drop. And finally, you can find the links to all of my personal social media pages down in the description, as well as the rest of my co-hosts and the rest of our team. It's another great way to interact with us, and you can see our thoughts on all things Bears, the entirety of the National Football League, as well as all of Chicago sports. Feels good to be doing this consistently once again. A lot of anticipation. Football is finally back. The draft is finally back, even though the Bears don't have a first-round pick. I'll be tuning in tomorrow night. A lot of interesting players that are going to drop off the board, and I'm sure a lot of interesting ones, good prospects, are going to drop into round two, perhaps a Tyler Linderbaum, or someone on the offensive line. The Bears hopefully will have copious amounts of options that they can go with those 2 second-round picks. It's been a pleasure to be your host. Once again, my name is Chris Maltby, and Bears fans, as always, do us a favor and stay safe and bear down. We'll see you in the next one.